Today's video, we're going to talk about how I have found the best Facebook sales funnel out there. I've tried many different options for Facebook sales funnels to run advertising on Facebook or through Facebook to get sales. What I'm going to share with you here works great for 90+% of the businesses out there. So if you're just looking for a tried and true formula to sell your product or service, B2B, B2C, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're selling to consumers or businesses. This sales funnel formula, which is not that difficult at all to put together, will be the thing that makes you a ton of money on Facebook if you're in that 90+% of people where it works great. For the most part, if you guys have a product or service that's been around and you got good reviews that you can document, you're in that 90% already. I'm going to go through specifically what that sales funnel is, how to replicate this on your end, why it works, why you want to go this general direction with it. And I'm also going to give you examples here of other companies where I've done this exact sales funnel so you can be able to more easily replicate this for yourself. Okay? So with all that said, I'll get right into the content. So I see a lot of people talking about sales funnels out there. But the fact is, most of this sales funnel talk out there, research and information about doing a sales funnel on Facebook, can be boiled down to one basic formula that works great, again, for 90+% of you guys out there and businesses out there. And what that formula is, as far as a sales funnel is and putting one together, is right here. This formula has 4 separate, distinct parts to it. If you replicate this on your own, you should for sure be able to have a profitable campaign running for your business. I mentioned before, you got to have some feedback from customers that you can reference, but if you have that, you have something that should be able to work for your company. Now, as far as funnels go, most people, when they advertise on Facebook, they think they can just put out there their product or service. Hey, I offer this, or hey, I offer that. And people should click on that ad and want to buy, or turn into a lead and then buy, or just buy, straight up without doing a 2-step sales process where you're collecting a lead and then hopefully selling to people later on down the road. That I don't want to say rarely works. If you have a really good product or service, it can work. That's really hot and in demand and doesn't have a lot of competition. It's a new thing, that kind of thing. But for most of you guys out there, that one-step process, at least when you're talking about Facebook for going after new prospects exclusively, that by itself doesn't work. Of course, you could add that with remarketing, but now you're getting into a sales funnel, whether you want to call it that or not. So in other words, if you're going to make money with Facebook going after cold traffic, you need a sales funnel to at least to get it to work. And with that sales funnel, there's a lot of different types of ways that you could think about doing it, but for the most part, I've tested dozens of these different options out, and I've boiled it down to just something that where I can use this and it basically works every time, which is why I'm giving it to you here on today's video as basically the main sales funnel that you need to make massive sales for your business. And so with that said, if you have some feedback from your product or your customers or clients already, you could put together this formula. Of the 4 steps on this formula, it's very simple here to follow. The very first thing you do, the very first thing that you want people to see is the results that your product or service delivers. And with that, there's a very specific reason why we go in order here. If we were to show somebody our second or third ad without showing them the first ad, it's not going to make as much sense. If we show something, down here before we show the other 3 ads in this 4 ad sequence, or 4, it can be more than 4 ads, but 4 separate, objectives or points to this funnel, it won't make sense. If we show just, objects that or ads that reference things at the top of the funnel, it won't work because you need the bottom part of the funnel to collect the sales. But up front, we're going to show what our product or service actually delivers in terms of results. Why do we do this, first of all? Because people don't buy drills. They buy the hole in which the drill, delivers, or, what you get from the drill. This has been a saying out there for a while. People don't buy the drills, they buy the holes. So what is it that your product or service does? You want to advertise the results, not how you go about getting the results. How you about getting the results still is important, but that in and itself isn't important until people are already sold on the results. People got this totally backwards most of the time, and that's why their campaign results suffer. So if you have your results may actually be just something that looks cool or whatever, but that's what you lead with up front. Okay? So once you got that done, and you can, like I said, have multiple ads for each of these 4 steps, and that can certainly ratchet up the results you're going to get with my sales funnel here, but you get the general idea. You need to show what those results are up front. And the idea is they're not going to see the rest of these ads for the most part, and you could switch this up, but for the most part, if they don't actually, at the very least, see the first ad, they're not going to see the rest, but you can have it to where if they don't click on your ad or engage with the ad, they don't see the rest of the ads, and try things that way, and sometimes that'll work a little better. But for the most part, it's just to keep it simple. If they see your ad, then they can see the rest of these ads. Or you could have it to where you show them the results and then another couple ads that show your results as well. And if your product or service particularly does multiple things in terms of the results it delivers, or maybe you have a few different types or variants of your product that deliver results, you can show them like that. And could have it to where they have to see all 3 of those ads before they get into the next stage here. But that's what you lead with up front with your sales funnel, to have a formula that's going to basically work every time. Once you've done that, users have seen the results you deliver, which the great thing, by the way, leading with the results is either those results resonate with the person or they don't. If I don't want to lose weight and you show somebody that, has lost weight with a particular product, system, service, whatever, there's nothing that you're going to be able to say or do at that point to sell to me. So it's a great separator to separate out the people on Facebook you want to sell to and who you don't. If you wanted to be able to hit more home runs and you were selling baseball bats, you would then in that case show a baseball bat that can hit a home run. Show somebody using a regular bat and then somebody hitting your bat, and how you're going to get more home runs. And then you show that, and the person who doesn't want to hit more home runs, for the most part, right, they're not going to be interested anymore. So the people, it will create an audience of people who are interested in that result and be familiar with what got those results. The idea basically is planted in their head at that point. You plant the seed, and then you go in with the next part of the formula, which is you show who else gets those same results. No matter how good your product or service is, people don't believe what you say. What somebody else says about what you're doing is 4 times as strong or believed or considered than what you could say about yourself. So, and humans have evolved through time to not believe and put stock into things unless they've seen other people also say the same things that you're saying. And that's been a way for people to be able to judge what's real and what's bullshit throughout time. It also has been a key to our survival, because if you went ahead and you tried everything that you saw versus seeing that your other peers have done that, then you may have made too many fatal mistakes. You would have made a fatal mistake. So people are definitely conditioned, no matter how good of what you say, even if you're a trusted brand already, they're just simply not going to trust what you're saying until they've seen other people say it, which is why you want to absolutely, as a part of your entire marketing funnel and strategy, have ads that do nothing else but take care of that one psychological factor that and component that's involved in the decision-making process of people who are going to make a decision on buying a product or service or doing anything for that matter. It's as a part of your entire sales funnel that you got. And so with that, for that step, it's pretty self-explanatory what you do then. You find other customers who have used that product or service, and you, by the way, are going to be targeting just one type of product or one just type of service. You're not going to do this in a more generalized basis. This is also where people screw up with, trying to advertise on Facebook. Because you can't, it's too hard to speak to everybody, in other words. But for the second part of this funnel, going back to what I was saying here, you find, you visually show the person getting the results from your product as well. So you can see it's not just one person getting these results, as per what you were showing in the first tier of ads here, showing what the results deliver and somebody getting those results. But and if you can't physically show it, maybe you, through writing or through voice, explain the results. So therefore, it just has to be done in a different way. You got to think about how to show your results for the first step. As you go to show who else is using this, basically what you want to do with that is show them also getting results if it's possible, or just show other people that are using it. If you, at least, that would be a way to get around not being able to physically show the people that you sold to also getting the results. If you showed them getting the results, you're going to believe it more, and you're also going to pay attention to it more. Particularly as you planted that seed, you saw that baseball bat that hits more home runs than the other bat, and all of a sudden now you see 1, 2, 3, 4 more people hitting home runs with that same baseball bat. So at that point, once you saw 3 or 4 people also hitting home runs with that baseball bat, you're thinking, there's something to this. I thought it looked like it looked awesome before, but things that usually are, what's the saying? Things that are too good to be true usually aren't true. But that actually, you're taking care of that one thing once you start showing multiple people all saying the same thing. And the more people they see saying one thing, the more they believe it. So the more time you spend on the second step having other people, other customers getting those same results, the more that they're going to believe that the results that you provide actually are real. And that's most of the battle for you guys that are selling on Facebook. Getting the person to believe that what you can do will happen. There's so many markets out there that as you could probably tell yourself, if everybody knew what I know about my product or service, everybody would buy it. If that's your case, and if that's the case, this funnel right here should be a godsend, because this exactly takes care of that exact thing. It gets people conditioned and aware of a product or service systematically, and done so in a way that's going to plant that seed in their mind that, of course, this kind of thing does work. And once they've done that, then you can actually sell it to them. But if you go straight at them with what you're trying to sell, it'll never work, because it's too much of a hill to climb. You got to do that prep work so that they'll believe what you're saying first. Too many people skip this step. Anyway, you show them a few ads of different people getting results, or people talking about how they use the product or service. Or if you had to, you could also say, this customer here got the results, and that's the most lame. It's best if the ad frames what from the customer's own lips, what they're saying about the product or service. And even better, showing them physically getting those results, as per showing other people that used your products or service getting results. If you can have a quote saying what they think about the product, you'll also get even more results. But once you've done that, they've seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ads showing and proving that what you just said about the results in the first step are real and they work, and they're what you said is justified. You go to the third step now, which is you talk about now why this solution you offer gets results or got results. So now you're at the point where you could tell them physically why you get results. And if you did this right away, it wouldn't make any sense, because they're not going to believe you get the results, right? But if you get results and you don't explain how you are able to get results, there's also going to be people who say, yeah, I get there's results, but I'm skeptical because I don't understand how you're able to get such good results. So you first go with, you basically, that you need this and here's why, and then here's why, that you need it, basically, or why it basically works. And so with this step actually is optional depending on what you're doing. If what you're selling isn't too technical, you could skip this step. If you sell something visual, they don't need to know why it looks cool. So it depends on the market. But with this, now you're getting into the mechanics. This baseball bat works because it works with this new metal alloy, and this is something that has been invented, and some baseball player could tell the backstory, build up a little story for the user. People like to see content about stories and stuff on social media, which makes telling a little story usually the best way to do this. This baseball player came up with this idea to have this one thing, and then people noticed it was good, and then it turned into a company or whatever. That's the type of content that also gets shared a lot, which if you get shared, obviously you're getting free clicks on top of your paid. But that's what you do there. And then so they can see, okay, this weird product gets results. All these other people are using it, so it looks like something that's becoming a trend. Therefore, if it's a trend already, the question as to whether or not this product works isn't really an issue. And now I understand why it works, so I can justify buying it, and I'm also going to get those results, which is what this third step is about. Yeah, those other people are getting the results, but am I really going to get the results? Maybe they are doing something, they have some special, swing that's also making that bat able to give them the home runs. And then technology, it's a new alloy, therefore it makes this, more bat speed. I can understand why it's also going to work for me. That's your third step. Now, once you have done all that, you've set your user up and primed the pump to get the sale at the last step, where you're going to use a special offer. So a lot of people also skip this step, to where basically that special bat, basically you've seen, we're offering a special on it in July where you get 25% off the bat for the next 10 days. And so the person who wanted to buy the bat, they know all about the bat now, why it works, all these other people using it. I wouldn't have paid attention to all the rest of this content if I wasn't interested in those results. Now you're giving me a specific reason to act now. A lot of advertisers don't realize that if you don't have a reason for somebody to act now, they're going to procrastinate. The more people procrastinate, the less people are going to buy from you as a whole that see your ads, because people always say, I'll do it tomorrow. That whole I'll do it tomorrow crap means I'm lazy, or they certainly may have good intentions to buy later, but they forget, they blow the money on something else. The quicker you get your money, the more statistically likely you are going to get the money. And therefore, you give something back to the user in order to not procrastinate, because you're going to get a higher percentage of those customers if you get them not to want to procrastinate. And to have them not want to procrastinate, you got to give them something. The go-to for that is usually X% off for the next 4 days, flash sale, and you got to have a reason for the sale. You get more results if you have a reason. 4-day flash sale for 4th of July, so they actually think that this isn't just a bullshit offer you came up with that you're offering everybody, but it really is only for 4 days, and I'm not going to get this again, therefore I should buy it now. And you'll pull a bunch of sales off this ad, but if you didn't do all this other stuff, it would not pull. A lot of people just go to asking for the sale, and it's not going to work. Like I said, you got to do the prep work of explaining what exactly is the results. You lead in with the results, and that you can believe the results, because we've made the case of why you should be able to believe the results up front. Now they know those results they can get, they believe it. Now we're going to make them an offer they can't refuse on those results at the last step. So basically that 1, 2, 3, 4 steps is the sales funnel that I was talking about and wanted to cover on today's video that you should use. Now, with that said, I'm going to get into, there's a few different example companies where I'm going to give you some real life examples of where we use this funnel here so you can be able to get those results for yourself and understand more so how to do it and the different kind of options or combinations you can do things in or with. I didn't talk about this yet, but when you get to the step where we talk about why the results happen, in the baseball bat example, everybody sees, or the person that or people you're advertising to see other people are also getting the home runs with that baseball bat, and now you get into explaining why you will also be able to get the results with that bat because it has a different alloy, and everybody who uses this bat with this different alloy gets the same results. You can also, in some markets, just talk about why the customers who did buy it, that you were showing, the other customers that you have, why they bought it, and specifically. So instead of talking about, well, we use this alloy on this baseball bat, for instance, you could say, the customers actually, the reason why they're getting the results is because it said it fundamentally changed the way that they were swinging because of, it has, some different characteristics to it. And therefore, now they're going to understand why it works. But that's not quite as good. Of course, you want the reason why you get results seeming like it's universal, and because the whole idea is to make them to think that, yeah, all these other people got the results, I'm going to get them too. So you could just say why the results come in a general sense from that product or service, or why the people who did get results, specifically why they bought it, and therefore they bought it for this reason, therefore I should buy it for this reason. So there's another little tweak to this that you could have. Most of the time though, you're going to talk just why those results occur on a general basis. So, and it will be de-linked to the people who got the results and through the ads that they saw on the second step there. So they can understand other people are getting the results. You tell them why your baseball bat, lets you hit more home runs, and then they just connect the two. Oh, that's why all those other people were able to use this bat to hit all those home runs. It's because of this. So anyway, my first example that I'll go into here is it was a company selling a kind of like a high-end luxury type mailbox, custom manufacturing. With that, results in this case, was just showing the product physically what it looks like. It's a product that people that have big ego or, obviously take pride in their home or whatever, they want a nice looking mailbox, like a stone mailbox for their, for their house, next to their driveway, whatever. So that was the deal there. And so we used 2 or 3 different ads that just show different settings. Next to one house, next to another house, next to another house. So that was the first step. Now the second step, we did pretty much what I told you before that you do. You get other people and show them physically using the product. In this particular case, it's just showing somebody else that used the product, and specifically it's the person talking about how they used the product. So how that was different than our other ads. So we just show randomly a mailbox there next to a house. They've seen that already. Going into the second step, you see somebody else has used the mailbox, a quote, why they bought the mailbox next to it, and mentioning it's cool because of, it basically looks like, very solid and high-end or whatever. And they see a few ads of those. Now, what made this campaign really profitable is we took this campaign and we broke it down by geographic territory. This is a nice spin to a Facebook ad that you can do that I would recommend for something like this if you're in a position to do it, to where we could take customers from one specific city or town and make sure the customers they see, we have ads set up to show other customers using that mailbox, the customers they see are in the same town as they're from. Why is that important, particularly in this market, is people who see somebody with that high-end mailbox are jealous of their neighbor or people that are they think are close to them, if you will. And then they're going to want to use it too, versus seeing somebody on the other side of the country. There's not as much of an ego trip going on versus seeing somebody that's in your same town getting this. Oh, I should have that. I'm just as good as them. And so that's what we did. We targeted the campaign to one specific city, and we had to do this obviously multiple times because one city will only get you so many sales. But for that city, in city which we had multiple customers, we did this once. You test this out once, and then you can roll this out to other cities. But they saw customers from their city using that mailbox. And then of course a quote, and you may have to incentivize your customers to give a quote and let you use an ad like this, right? But it's well worth it because this is the exact formula that really just rakes in the cash. You could give these people $1,000 to be able to put an ad like that together, and you would still crush it. So that's how effective this method is. But basically, that's what we did. They saw, James from Denison, Texas, also used this mailbox, and here's what they said about it. Show a picture of the mailbox, somebody standing next to the mailbox, and then a quote was in and around that ad, of course, and then basically that's the ad. That ad specifically linked to the mailbox on the website, nothing fancy there. And that was the second step of what we did for that campaign. For the third step, now I told you that the third step is actually optional. If you have something that's like visual or obvious, the main point is it'll look good. You can just basically skip this third step, which we did in this case. And for the fourth step, it's basically the same regardless of the situation. You have regular offers every 30 days. We would have a different reason for a different flash sale. So throughout the month, we're building up our audience list of people who know about the product, know other people in their area are using it, invoking a little jealousy. And then later on, they see a way to get that expensive mailbox, but not have to pay quite the price that those other so-called neighbors have bought the product. But it's only good for a certain amount of time. And the idea is if I don't click on this ad right now and buy, I'm going to have to pay 20% more later. Or and it doesn't have to be a % off. It could be free installation, free shipping, whatever. You get the general idea. But what you do is you keep doing this. You don't just do it once. You do it one for every month, and every month for 10 days, this ad runs to invoke urgency in the consumer that knows everything about your product now and wants it to buy. And if you didn't build that urgency, a lot of people just wouldn't buy. You're going to get 2 or 3 times as many people buying from you, building up that kind of urgency with that kind of an offer, than if you just said, here's the product, like for the bottom of the funnel ad, here's the product, buy now. Because that's just how it is. All marketing and advertising works better if there's urgency involved in the process. So anyway, that was the deal there. Campaign worked very good. And one basic example of how to do this sales funnel here that I'm giving you here on today's video. Moving forward, we have a sales training company. So getting into and away from business to consumer sales, now we're talking about business to business sales. Sales funnel can be used just for business to business sales as well. In that particular case, when we're talking about the top of the funnel here again, results, the ad basically said our sales training gives our average customer a 59% increase in sales close rates on the leads they have, which that message, by the way, by itself is what all these sales training companies should be doing, because who gives a shit about the sales training company? And I don't believe what you're saying anyway. But if you come up with a very specific number, our customers get a 59% increase in close rates. A, I know what it is that you're offering, and B, I'm paying attention more because that specific number means they probably have something that's real because they give a specific number. That's a cool little hack. Use specific numbers, people believe you more, and you get a higher amount of attention from users out of the hole or whatever. And then from there we link to basically an article / case study on how we were able to get that 59% increase in close rates for people. In general, though, the idea is to plant the seed. 59% increase in close rates, everybody knows what that is. You should try to boil down the results that you're trying to promote into something that you can basically digest in 2 or 3 seconds. If it's something visual you sell, they can obviously see that in 2 or 3 seconds. In this case, 59% increase in sales close rates from your leads with this sales training company. And just to also let you know, going back to what I said before, if you could sub-segment your campaign like we did with the mailbox company, do it by town, and then with that one so that we could have customers that were from their town, showing them standing next to their mailbox and what they said about the mailbox. In this particular case, sales training, if you could break it down by market, auto dealerships and carpet stores and so on and so on, you will get much, much better results doing that with your advertising, and you should seek to do that. What are the customer types that buy? And if they're distinctly different, break it down so your messaging can be just to that one type of customer. And with that, and I've talked about this on a lot of other videos before, in this particular case, we actually did this. You can go out and find an email address of just carpet store owners. You can manually build that by guessing what their email address is, or you can go to data brokers out there like Melissa Data and just get a list of all the carpet company owners in the US. Get their email address, upload it to Facebook, and then now we can just target the carpet company owners with our ads. And so with that case, the results can talk about how we specialize in dealing with carpet companies. As we say, carpet companies, we're able to increase our average carpet company client has increased their close rates on leads by 59% on average. As we get into the other people's results on the second step, you start showing other carpet companies that have used the service and what they say. And then because it's relevant to their market, you're going to get 3 to 10 times the pull on that ad than you would have gotten otherwise trying to speak to all companies at once. Everybody wants to try to be able to have one ad and make money, or they want a few ads and make money. And the reality is it's dozens of ads as per you create multiple ads to sell to somebody, but you also create one funnel for each customer type you have or each product type you have to be relevant enough to get people's attention at a high rate. If you don't get people's attention at a high enough rate, the cost per click is too high, your ROI starts to drop off. Higher the click-through rate, the more you make. So, and if you're not making enough, all you do is you simply sub-segment your targeting and go after people, and so you can tailor your messaging more so to the exact type of person you're targeting. The general formula doesn't change. You just simply sub-segment the targeting and then speak to that exact person. This particularly works, well for B2B or selling to businesses, but that is generally a vital component of making Facebook ads pay for themselves. But getting back to the topic at hand, there's other carpet companies where they got results. Of course, you couldn't do that in every case, but in that particular instance, they had enough carpet customer clients that got results in which they could announce and incentivize that client with some free services in order to be able to have an ad that has a quote from them and shows a picture of their store. And then from there, by the way, to make it work better, and which you would also want to do to get the most from it, link to a page on your website, a blog post that talks about that case study. Not a lot of people will read it. It's, again, mainly about them seeing, there's a short thing there that says, XYZ Carpet Company used this sales training service, and here's what they said about it. That's going to be enough to plant a seed enough for people and prime the pump enough for people enough to, later on when you offer them the service straight up, they already know and believe everything you've said and what you have to offer, and it's there at the right time at the right place. So that's what we did there for the second step. Now for the third step here, right? Now people, like I said, okay, those other carpet companies got results, but I don't know if I can really get those same results. And then you get into specific, in this particular case, it had an ad that got into how our sales training services are different than other sales training services. So this is very much similar company to company, as you can see. You talk about specifically why your product or service works and how that usually is, why it works, is because it's different because of other solutions out there. This is how it's distinctly different. And then that's how they get behind understanding why this will work for you specifically and not just all those other people. So in that particular case, they talked about what they specifically do. They go in there, they specifically work with your sales training people on the floor and how that specifically process is different and how it works. And that's what they did there. Of course, you can link to a blog post that goes more into detail on that. Some people will read that, most people won't. But just having seen the ad and read it and have read the ad, we get a lot more people just reading it and digesting it without going to the blog post that goes into detail on it. You'll want as many people to read that blog post as possible, but the ad's so relevant, the ad's so good that even if they just read it, it gets you closer to a sale with that person. That's always your goal, is to have your stuff so good that even if they didn't go to your site, they're more likely to buy, and it is what it is there. Because it's so relevant and the messaging so juicy, if you will. That's what we did there for the third step, though. And then the fourth step is just the same as usual. Hey, we have a special promotion. We're looking for more. We have an opening for more carpet cleaning, or it's not carpet store clients. It's actually flooring, not just carpet, but carpet/flooring store clients who are also looking to have, work through us and use our special in-house training program in which we offer 59% higher increase in sales close rates from our leads. And therefore because we need clients, at the moment, and we had an opening, and to get our opening filled sooner, you contact us this week, we'll actually give you the thing for a much discounted rate. And then that gets them inquiring and thinking enough. They're like, well, I wonder how much it's off. You can say, we're going to give you a discount and not say how much the discount is, or even what the primary price of your service is. It'll get people to reach out to see how much you're offering. You could say, we're offering a significant discount. It's enough to get that person to talk to a salesperson. That's kind of what was done there. So anyway, that's another kind of spin on how to do this bottom of the funnel pitch here. But again, it's no different than the B2C companies. You're still going to have a way to be able to build urgency and scarcity into the process, even if you're B2B. And it doesn't have to be reduced by reducing the price. You have different options there. You can say, normally we work with this many size of companies, but if at this time we're willing to work with companies that don't have that size for the next 2 weeks if you contact us. It'd be another way of spending it. So you get the general idea there. So that's for the sales training company. We do this all the time. We've done this 10 plus times now. But I'll give you another example here for a mattress company next. This mattress company had one of those bed-in-a-box companies, and the mattress itself was specifically supposed to be for one of the main benefits/features of the product was supposed to be a mattress for side sleepers specifically, or cater to side sleepers in this case. And in that case, what we lead to show you a different way that you can kind of spin this funnel and take the core concepts is as you can see here then through my examples, you can take this funnel and you can tweak it, you can twist it a lot of different ways to make it better and more suited for your market. But I'm giving you the main kind of ways to do it here. And this, for this mattress company, they had a separate company, a mattress review company, and they review mattresses. That's all they do. If you have a company like this in your space, you should definitely get that done, because you can use what they say about you in all your marketing, including your advertisements on Facebook ads and so forth. It works really, really well because of the whole thing I said where what other people say about you is 4 times as strong as what you can say about yourself. In this particular case, they rated companies or beds for side sleeping capability, or for how good they are for sleeping on your side, if you will. And they were ranked first there for that. And so with that, instead of saying this mattress will get you better results when sleeping on your side than any other mattress in the space in your top of the funnel here, we can say XYZ company said this is the best mattress for people who sleep on your sides than you can find any other place, and get 4 times the power out of that message than you could saying it for yourself. So we led off with that particular message. And again, notice how we're not just marketing the mattress to everybody. We're looking at the customers. What are the types of customers that buy? And then go after one specific type of customer so our message can be ultra relevant to that type of customer. In this case, side sleepers. So in that case, that was the top of the funnel that we had there for that prospect. Next is who else is using this basically for side sleeping. And that one just, the formula is pretty much the same each time for this, in that we're showing other people having used the mattress and that were side sleepers, and then commented on how well it was for their side sleeping. So there was a quote, it had a picture of the person, about who it was. So basically almost like a testimonial, specifically with the mattress in view on the ad. If you can't get the picture of the product in that ad like that, like I just said, it'll still work, but it'll work much better if you can have the picture of the product in the ad. You definitely want that in your step 2 or tier 2 ad here. But in this case, we didn't just do that for our tier 2 this time. What we did in this particular case is we also said what the reviews were from Trustpilot and a couple other places, where if we look through the reviews and we look for all the people that said side sleeper or side sleeping or anything regarding side sleeping in the review, we actually tallied up how many positive reviews they had for people who, because you could use the mattress for other than side sleeping. It wasn't just a side sleeping mattress, like I said. But all the cumulative reviews that they had from side sleeping, we said Trustpilot, all the people who used this mattress for side sleeping from Trustpilot had which was 384 reviews. And again, you should be specific because it's more believable if you can use specific numbers like that. People are just more, that's just how it is. People are more likely to believe what you're saying if you use specific numbers like that. It's a very cool hack in advertising. But in that case, instead of just having 1, 2, 3 customers randomly say, I used this for side sleeping and I liked it, thank you. You got 300, another ad in that second tier sequence that you have, that you want people to see that as well before they see your third tier ads, that we had 384 reviews on Trustpilot from people who used this mattress for side sleeping and loved it. And then the same thing for the other places where they had reviews. So that's another way to spend this in order to get people to believe that it's, that they're going to get results because a bunch of people are getting this mattress for the issue of trying to sleep well while sleeping on your side, basically. So that's the tier 2 that we had for that particular company. Now for the tier 3 here, like I said, you can, at this point, you're going to explain why it's so good for side sleeping, or the people who did buy it for side sleeping, specifically why they bought it. You can get into that's an alternate way you can do this third tier. In this particular case, what they specifically did was talk about the research that they did and the process that they went through to get this mattress to be good for side sleeping, and the testing that they did. And so what they went to, in other words, a technical angle, sort of like the original example that I gave you with the baseball bats, but specifically how they were able to come up with the mattress through the testing that they did to be good specifically for side sleepers, and so that they would, basically they would have an edge or differentiation point in their mattress, given that mattress market, bed in a box mattress market, where get a mattress shipped out to your door and it's a foam mattress, that they would have a differentiation point for their company. But they talked and they actually did, when they started that company, they did the research on how to be the top side sleeping mattress, knowing a good 40% of people just sleep on their side or more, and why not make this mattress good for side sleepers? Nobody else is saying they're a side sleeping mattress specifically. We can do that and of course do really well, even though it's good for other things. But how do we come up with one that, a specific type of mattress that's good for site sleeping, so we can also we have an edge in our communication. And so anyway, because of that, we certainly took advantage of that. And we just had, again, we're telling us a little bit of a story about the testing, how this works. And so as you see a bunch of people, I'm a side sleeper. You said that you had the best side sleeping mattress as reviewed by XYZ Review mattress, xyzmattressreview.com. And you showed me all these other people have used it for side sleeping. Now I want to know why it's good for side sleeping, so I understand why this works and why it's also going to work for me. And get into a little bit of the testing process that you went through, link to an article that goes into detail on that, and then you set up the consumer for the last step, which is consistently like $100 off your purchase for July special, ends, on the 14th. And then you hit them with that, and then you turn off the sales ad there at the bottom of the funnel for a little while. And then, 2 weeks later, an August sale comes up, and you just keep going and through and doing that. And that last piece gets you, most of your sales, if you will. Some people that see your initial tier ads will buy, but usually it's your bottom of the funnel ad that gets them. A majority of your sales will come from that bottom of the funnel ad. Okay? And so, and I didn't mention it. As far as the landing page, when the people are talking about using the mattress for side sleeping there, we did the same thing as we did on the other ones, where we linked to a blog post. A blog is a really good, useful tool for making landing pages. You can say stuff on a Facebook ad, link to a Facebook blog post on your site, which talks about that, given that we're marketing stuff that's just essentially content, you can just make a blog post, just link to it, and now you've got somewhere for people to go, with the main objective just for people to read the ad, and that's enough. But for the extra people who want more information, it gives them a reason to be on your site, and ultimately, hopefully, through that blog post, you also want to have on the blog post, at the end of the blog post, and also if you can on the sidebar, so while they're reading at any time, they can go look at the product page. You're not trying to convince them to go to the product page, but at all times, if they get to that blog post, they can at any time go and see the product, okay? Of course, when anybody gets to the site, your other remarketing can kick in and gives you an opportunity to sell to people even if they don't see the special offer. Or should I say, if they see your other remarketing that talks about all the other reasons why you should buy, and then they see your special offer ad, that special offer ad is going to make even more sales, because now they've saw over the last week and a half, they saw the 10 other reasons why they should buy that weren't mentioned already in the funnel that I gave you, which are just extras. They're even more likely to buy when they see your sales, your sale that you're offering $100 off the product for the next 10 days. They already know all the reasons why they should buy, and then you get a high uptake rate from that. And so, and as far as the top of the funnel where we said XYZ company reviewed, XYZ Mattress Review Company reviewed this product and said it was the top side sleeping mattress in that category, we link physically to that company and the post where they said it was the top mattress. So they ranked them like 1 to 10, so they can physically go and verify that it's ranked in the top 10. And the same thing for the ad that said from Trustpilot, of all the reviews, 384 reviews actually were about the side sleepers. And of that ad, if they click on it, goes to the Trustpilot reviews, so they can verify your reviews there. So anytime where you mention what somebody else says about you, you generally will link, as per if it's just solely meant to build trust in the user, you link to the place where whatever's been said about you, where it's said, so that people can verify it. Because if you don't do that, then they're going to think, well, they just saying it. That's very, very powerful. If somebody says you're the best, you mention that, and then you link to it, and somebody goes and verifies that they're like pretty sold at that point. So that's what we use for a landing page there. Sometimes we'll, instead of sending them directly to if a review site reviews us and linking them to the review site directly, we'll have on another blog post, we'll talk about how that review site review does, and basically screenshot the content and put it on our blog post as a way to be able to, cookie somebody for retargeting, and a way to have more people go check out the product page. But it's generally, we'll just send them directly to the review to verify, because it's, as far as building trust, that builds much more trust than seeing the same thing they would have saw on the review site on our website, because that's just how it is. It's gonna have more of an effect on them seeing it on another site. You could test it both ways if you wanted. Have that review on another site put on a blog post in terms of screenshotting it, put it on your blog post, and see how many people click from there to the product page and buy. But it'll be minimal anyway. For me, and again, because we've tested this, you're gonna send them to the other site and not actually collect on your prospect now really wanting to buy until you have your sale ad come later on. You just are delaying it a little bit, and you're overall going to get more sales, because the hardest thing for most people to do is get enough trust that you're not lying and your product really does work and really does deliver the results you say and that you want, than it is getting that person, to your product page and buy, so to say. Because if they knew what you're saying 100%, there's no chance they won't get those results, and they want them. And of course, the price is right. They're going to buy. So you do everything you can to get that person to trust you. You don't do everything you can to push them to buy. You just get us to, do everything, get us to trust us, and then here's a link to buy. Not trust us, oh, you want to buy? Trust us, oh, you want to buy? You'll get more overall done and more trust by not constantly pitching them during the mode in which you're trying to build up the trust from the user, which is why we have this funnel the way that it is. We're spending all kinds of money just building up trust from the user, showing the results, showing what other people's results, people getting the same results, showing why those people got results and why that results will happen for you, and not even talking about our product being for sale until the last step, because getting trust is the hardest part in most markets. So anyway, with all that said, like I said, most people are going to skip to just offering that product or service right off the bat. If that's you, and you've been struggling to get Facebook first click or cold traffic to convert or get a ad working for you, try this funnel. This works for almost all markets out there if you put enough effort into putting those pieces together, like I said, and doing it, kind of to the level I talked about, sub-segmenting your market, speaking to one type of buyer, giving them all the reasons why you can believe the results that you want. We can deliver those, and putting it together and getting a good campaign together for your business. If you like the video, I would appreciate giving it a thumbs up, because it will, of course, help other people see this video and help our channel get, to grow and so forth. And you should consider subscribing to the channel, as I have a ton of other video content that I'm sharing on this channel about other money-making PPC strategies that we come up with and find here at our agency on an ongoing basis that we share with you here to help you make a ton more money with PPC, which is all obviously free. And of course, stuff that doesn't work and that will drain your money, we also share with you and inform you of on this video from active tests that we're running on our clients' campaigns on a regular basis. If you like this video, I also have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build PPC campaigns the way that I build them for our clients here, in which we basically have to guarantee results for our clients. If you want to see how we do things on a more step-by-step basis, you can find good content there as well that might be able to help you out with what you're doing as well with PPC and so forth. Beyond that, if you have any questions about anything I covered here, anything that you think I should have covered and didn't, maybe, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. And so, anyway, with all that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one, which I'll have another good video with another good money-making topic on it in another day or two. See you later.